Okay, we have a really interesting one today. We're talking about what do real Canadians think about immigration and Canada's plan versus what is actually happening. So it's really interesting if we think about it first. Let's just look at this is a CTV news comments. This is not filtered or anything. It shouldn't be that biased, I think left or right, more left anyway. So let's just look at all the comments. So okay, when prices fall 40%, then we've fixed something. Okay. That's funny. Canada has become the world's ATM machine. 400K per year is still too many. We don't have hospitals, schools, housing, roads, and other infrastructure for this kind of influx. Reductions can't come soon enough. Canada is a lesson for other countries what not to do. No more Tim Hortons workers needed. They need to reduce it further. These are not mistakes, all intentional. These businesses and universities want the foreign money from foreign students, workers, but don't want to help pay for the housing, healthcare infrastructure needed to accommodate them. Still too high, no more than 200,000 per year. The reduction is laughable. This is collusion between big businesses and government to suppress wages and degrade worker rights. Immigration is out of control. Okay, I just wanna get you the idea that there's really nothing positive from any side talking about it. So, I mean, it's interesting, what do Canadians really think? I mean, nobody thinks it's good. They might have a slightly different take on why it's bad, but I haven't seen one positive, comment, which is pretty crazy. Usually people argue on this. It's kind of a controversial topic, but not anymore because everyone just says it's too high. Nobody likes it. Now the damage is done, considering the drain on food banks by cheats. You might want to rethink that. No way Canada has resources, amenities, infrastructures. Okay, so basically, there's nothing positive. So I just wanted to show you, like, I can't see anything positive. You should go to the clip afterwards. I'll put it in the comments. But basically, nothing positive. If you can find something positive, I'd love to hear about it. What people think about it. For me, I'm getting nothing. I mean, I could actually probably come up with some reasons if I wanted to, but now let's watch the CTV news clip and then see what they're saying, which I find very interesting because I have a few other stats that they seem to hide.
Canada's once ambitious immigration targets have led to a hard landing.
We're reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada for the next 3 years.
The former Trudeau government acknowledging they made some mistakes. In 2022, Canada welcomed more than 405,000 newcomers, with plans for 465,000 permanent residents in 2023, 485,000 in 2024, and 500,000 in 2025.
Did we take too long to adjust? I think there's some responsibility there.
The government eventually reworked its plans to decrease its target to 395,000 permanent residents this year, while lowering that number even more.
Okay, so they did reduce it a little bit, but I want you to think about they only showed you the last few years before COVID. Now let's go to Wikipedia and see what it has to say. So this is the permanent resident increase in Canada per year and the different years. Okay, so you can see it 2024, 483,000. And then, so it didn't show you this. So COVID had 184,600. And that was like because of COVID and all the lockdowns, they weren't letting anyone in. But let's go before COVID. Okay. It's still way less than even their targets. So still increased it a lot. They didn't want to show all of these numbers from 2004 to 2020 or before. Like, why didn't they show that? Just to give you an idea of what it was before COVID and what it is now. And I'd like to hear more about why are these numbers the way they are? I mean, I could understand if they have reasons. I'm sure they have some reasons, but, like, please share them and don't just show the last 4 years and then say, "Oh, we've decided to reduce it. We've made mistakes. We've admitted to mistakes."
Over the next 2 years, the About Face set in motion a seismic shift in Canada's immigration policy that has played out over the last 12 months.
We've got this huge influx of people on Canadian soil expecting permanent residence who won't get it.
The number of international student visas were slashed this year, leading to college and university program cancellations and sweeping job cuts.
We're seeing one of the largest mass layoffs in Ontario's history.
A cap on international student permits that began in 2024 and into 2025 will see a further reduction in 2026. As Frost Weeks rolled onto campus this year, international students were taking note.
A lot of international students dream of studying abroad. I have a sister, she might be wanting to study abroad, and caps like this are affecting her.
It's a concern shared by Canadian university executives.
60% decrease in the number of new students approved to attend Canadian universities in the first quarter of this year. They, in fact, help pay for more spots for Canadian-born students to attend university because international students pay higher tuition fees.
Ottawa put a limit on foreign students in part.
I mean, that is a fair point. They do pay way more money. So I see, I've actually did see some of the comments about people complaining about the international students, but they do support research because they're paying way more money. Like we're subsidized the students in Canada. So they're the ones actually paying a lot more than the money. And if you want to increase, maybe they need to increase fees. I'd be fine with that if that makes sense. Since we have so much demand, why don't we increase the fees? Not just say you can't come if they're paying for everything.
To help ease the pressure on the cost of rental housing while trying to reduce the burden on hospitals and other public infrastructure and social services. Citizenship Canada says its aim is also to create a pipeline of international student graduates whose skills match the country's long-term economic and labor needs, adding eligible fields include healthcare, social services, education, and the trades. In his first news conference in May following the federal election, newly minted Prime Minister Mark Carney pulled in the reins on immigration even tighter.
We will return our immigration to sustainable levels by capping the total number of temporary workers.
That led to an outcry from some labor groups, even a lawsuit against the federal government, filed by a conglomerate of Quebec-based businesses who claim they're losing money and now unable to fill vacant job postings.
These companies either have to slow down production, refuse contracts, and in certain cases, they will even close down certain shifts. We can think of weekend shifts, night shifts, because we can't find the workers that we need.
The Carney government has pressed on, promising.
Okay, so we can't find the workers that we need. Well, we do still have a backlog of people. I say let the refugees start working in there if they really need somebody. Let the people that are currently here, let them until they're processed, let them, support. Let's figure out a plan. We can't just bring a bunch of people in. I know sometimes it does negatively affect a certain group, unfortunately, but that's part of it. It works both ways too. It's not great having these people in here. So like there is a bit of give and take. Let's see what he's saying now, Mark Carney.
To cap the level of foreign workers and international students by less than 5% of the country's population. The 2025 federal budget highlighted that in 2018, 3.3% of Canada's population were temporary residents. By 2024, that number had more than doubled to 7.5%, an unprecedented rate of growth that put pressure on housing supply, the healthcare system, and schools. Canada's new government recognizes that this system is no longer sustainable.
We will work to attract the best talent in the world to build our economy.
The recent spike in the country's population has in part resulted in nearly zero GDP per capita growth over the last number of years, meaning the slice of the economic pie is getting smaller for each Canadian.
Exactly. So GDP per capita per person is not going up. And that's what we need to focus on. Like currently it's been terrible, the growth. They talk about overall GDP. Like we brought in a bunch more people, but the actual per capita growth has been it's been absolutely ridiculously bad, non-existent. Anyway, I just wanted to share these numbers and show you about what real people have to think about it. I'd love to hear your comments and we will see you on the next one.